Paradise, Queensland at the International Motor Circuit, General Motors Holden today announced the 3 versions of the new Holden Monaro. The Monaro, Monaro GTS and Monaro GTS 327, as well as another new car tour prestige vehicle to be called the Holden Brougham. The Holden Monaro series are 2-door pillarless coupes and may be customized with the use of any one of 19 engine and transmission combinations. General Motors are placing a lot of hopes on these 2-door motor cars because at the moment in the United States, 2-door cars are outselling 4-door cars. So the introduction for the first time here in Australia of a specialized car for the enthusiast. The basic model is the Monaro. Now, the vehicle is, to a degree, a little bare, but the idea is for the customer himself to decide just about how much he wants to spend on a variety of custom features that are available. This vehicle has the 161 engine. An overall choice of 12 engines and transmission combinations can be added. The second Monaro is the GTS. It has the 145 horsepower motor, the 186S, as its standard power unit, but then again it can be added on too with various types of transmission and motors. On the floor, all synchro-mesh 4-speed manual gearbox as well as automatic transmission. The high-performance Monaro is the GTS 327, which has the 250 horsepower V8 engine, the same exactly as the Chevrolet, the big Chevrolet on the market at the moment, and the Pontiac Parisienne. It's a very fast motor car and is geared for competition work and motorsport and for the enthusiast. Car 4 in the series that has been released today by General Motors is the Holden Brougham. This is a luxurious motor car with a V8 motor and 8 inches longer than the normal Holden body. It's been built in competition to the Ford Fairlane and sells underneath the Fairlane price. A prestige car released the Holden Brougham. The price of the basic model, the Holden Monaro, $2,575. The Holden Monaro GTS, $3,090. The Holden Monaro GTS 327, $3,790. Well, Norm Beachy, how do you feel about the new GM Monaro?
Well, actually, John, I'd say without a doubt it's the most exciting sedan car for the sporty type family man that's ever been produced in Australia.
Do you think that we will see it in race meetings?
Well, I'd say so, John, because previously our Holden sedan car racing in Australia was the most exciting racing that we've ever had. And as there hasn't been really competitive enough Holden to go racing in the last few years, but I'm quite sure that there'll probably be plenty of these cars raced. It's a pretty famous engine. It's been around in speedboats and the stock car racing and all sorts of things for years and years. It's a well-proven motor.
Now, what about this car in the wrong hands? Say a young chap gets a car as powerful as this, he could obviously land himself in a lot of trouble.
Well, quite frankly, John, if the chap's going to get into trouble, they'll get into trouble in a small car that'll do 80 or 90 miles an hour, they'll be in trouble. This should be a very, very safe car for highway work, like pulling out and passing. You'll generally find more trouble happens on the wrong side of the road when people are pulling out and they're underpowered to pass. I think it'll be a very safe car. It's got all the latest safety features in it.
There's a whisper on the wind, Monaro. There's a thunder down the street, Monaro. There's a full-loaded door, there are 4 on the floor, and life is suddenly very Monaro. It's very Monaro this year.
Monaro by Holden, Australia's first sports machine. The racy looks of a high-priced Continental rally car, but no fancy foreign price tag. 3 models, Monaro, Monaro GTS, or GTS 327, out to drive you wild. Wide road-hugging track, super-tuned suspension, engines right up to a 250 horsepower V8, console, floor shift, manual or automatic, tachometer, and safety features all around you.
Monaro is going to be very Monaro this year.
Make him show you. Out of the dawn and into your life comes Holden's Monaro, Australia's first sports machine. The one you see here is the top of the line, the Monaro GTS 327, powered by a 327 cubic inch, 250 horsepower, 4-barrel Carby V8 engine. And just watch that Monaro move as you pour on the power. This Holden Monaro really loves the road. Feel the way it corners. Just watch the way it hugs the curves. Sure-footed, safe, on line every inch of the way. Look at the way it takes off. It's a beautiful feeling. Come on, let's go. Let's go, Monaro. When you see your Monaro for the first time, you notice the racy, swept-down styling of the rear deck. And so will others. With plenty of window for wide, safe vision. Plenty of window to see and be seen. Now take a look at the side. No central pillar to spoil the line. Both front and back windows wind down to give your Monaro and you the true sporting look. And that wide, wide door invites you to get in and go. Monaro by Holden. Some car, because as well as its sporty looks, inside Monaro there's room enough for 5 full-size car-loving people. Yet Monaro's as personal as you could wish. Reclining buckets, wood grain wheel, full instrumentation, floor console shift. Monaro GTS models come equipped with heavy-duty, rally-tuned suspension and D70 wide ovals on extra-wide rally wheels. A limited slip differential is part of the package. Three Monaros make the range. Monaro, Monaro GTS, and Monaro GTS 327. 3 models, 5 power plants. Your choice, up to 250 horsepower. Now's the time for you to go Monaro, the hottest brand going.
You can count on more from Caltex. Caltex, the money saver.
Caltex products. Whatever you ask of them, you can count on more from Caltex, the money saver.
You can count on more from Caltex. Caltex, the money saver.
Caltex car care and safety checks. When the going's tough, you can count on more from Caltex, the money saver.
You can count on more from Caltex. Caltex.
Caltex diagnostic service puts new performance back in your car. You can count on more from Caltex, the money saver.
Just released. It gives you now what other cars wish they could. Like lines that get better looking every minute. Like a new optional all-Australian V8 engine with big, lazy power that drives these wider track wheels wherever you dare to go. Like soft, secure bucket seats and safety all around you. And much more. The new Monaro. Imported straight from the future. Now's the time to go Monaro. Move ahead of your time. The new Monaro at your Holden dealer.
Panorama, Bathurst, 9 a.m. and the roar of exhaust as 60 starters get away in the most grueling event on the motor racing calendar, the Hardy Ferodo 500. Through Forest Elbow and Des West's Holden Monaro quickly takes the lead from the Holdens of McPhee, Muir and Hawkins. Then come the Falcons of Gagan and Gibson. End of lap 1, and at Murray's Corner the placings are the same. Lap time just over 3 minutes. Some of the cars don't make the turn, and precious seconds are lost as they head off for Bathurst down the escape road. Ron Kearns in a Fiat has troubles too. Watch. There'll be some emergency panel beating before he returns to the race. Through the S's, the order's unchanged and the pace is a cracker. But how long can it last? Are still out on their own. Behind West and McPhee, Brian Muir and Paul Hawkins are running third and fourth, then Gagan and Gibson. Leading the field, Des West is driving lightly and easily, conserving himself for the hours ahead. Brian Muir in car 25 tries to overtake Adapton, but doesn't quite make it. After 1 hour, 15 minutes, Des West in the Monaro is still ahead, and Holden dominate the leading position. The first Falcon, number 9, is 23 seconds behind. 65 seconds further back is the fastest of the Alphas, driven by Kevin Bartlett. The Gagan Falcon is running low on fuel. The lead driver, Ian Gagan, stands by in the fifth. Leo's been driving superbly, and this year the brothers are out to overcome the bad luck of previous 500s. Team advisor Harry Firth was one of last year's outright winners. Already well behind, the Alphas are striking trouble. Ray Gulson pulls in to change a faulty wheel. The Brian Foley's Alpha also has problems. Laurie Stewart takes a turn at the wheel. 11:30, and after 41 laps, the pace is stepped up. With an incredible burst of speed, Des West shatters the old lap record by nearly 5 seconds. 2:58. A refueling stop provides a few seconds well-earned rest for all but the pit crew.
Point right.
But up on the mountain, things are not going so smoothly. Bill Daly's Citroën learns there are no shortcuts to victory. Certainly not through the safety fence, anyway. The slightly disfigured Citroën decides to press on. Meanwhile, the leaders have reached halfway, and the Falcons start to present a serious challenge to the Monaros. Car 9, the Gibson Seaton Ford, moves into first place. Close behind him, Des West still leads the rest of the field. But the Gagan Ford has crept into third place, with Jim Palmer fourth. Brian Muir fifth. And Paul Hawkins sixth. At Forest Elbow, the Falcons pushing hard to maintain its lead. Then a flat battery forces McPhee, car 13, into the pits. Back on the track, McPhee fights to regain lost ground. Car 9 is still ahead, but just when the Ford camp's becoming confident, real trouble strikes the Gagan machine. The Falcons' disc brakes burn out. Replacement takes 16 minutes. Then more trouble, and this time it's the leader, Barry Seaton, pulling in with a suspected blown head gasket. Time is running out, and every second vital. A radiator refill, some rapid cooling, and the car is sent back onto the track. Now, miles behind, Gagan attempts a miracle. And it appears Harry Firth believes in them too, as he orders more speed. Then another blow, in more ways than one, and this time Seaton is definitely out of the race. The toll in the pits is growing, and the same goes for Forest Elbow. Even here, you strike traffic problems. Track officials rush to the rescue, but fortunately no one's hurt and the race goes on. Remember the Citroën that crashed earlier? Well, he's on his last lap. That dice with the safety bank definitely puts him out of the race, but miraculously he's okay. Meanwhile, the consistent McPhee has hit the front, and the battle for line honors is between his Monaro and those of West and Marks, all in the same lap. But the Devil's number doesn't worry McPhee as he sets another new lap record of 2 minutes 56.8, and fastest time 128.5 miles per hour down Conrod Straight. Ron Marks is second, and Phil West third. Coming to the checkered flag, McPhee has broken the race record set last year by the Falcons. His time, 6 hours, 44 minutes, 7.9 seconds. For Bruce McPhee and co-driver Barry Mulholland, an outstanding performance in Australia's toughest car race.
The largest crowd in the history of the race has come to see what promises to be the most thrilling motor race of its kind ever staged, with main interest in the battle for line honors between the new and specially built Ford Falcon Holden Monaro GTS. Ford won in '67, so today's race is something of a decider. With fuel stops expected to play a big part in the final result, they save every ounce by pushing to the start.
A maximum field of 63 will take part, so all know those first few laps will be very, very hectic, especially for those to the rear of the grid. Last year's victors Barry Mulholland and Bruce McPhee have this year switched to Ford, and McPhee will again drive all but one of the 130 laps. David Mackay is another Ford convert, while on the other hand, Harry Firth has switched to the Holden dealers camp as team manager. Harry has won the race 3 times, so should know every bump, bounce and bend of the notorious circuit to keep his drivers and their vehicles in the running for line honours. Colin Bond has been one of Foxy Firth's star pupils in recent weeks. But now the 1-minute siren has gone and all is ready for a start with 2 Falcons and a Holden on pole position. Don Smith's Datsun is first casualty as it brushes the fence opposite the pits, but considering the size of the field, it's an incident-free start. They swarm through Hardy Barodo corner and up Mountain Straight. The Kagan car is pacemaker at XL corner, and their speed up the mountain is nearly as fast as... And that's just what happens as they race over the top of the mountain. One car rolls in front of the field, all but blocking the track. Others, unable to slow, cannon into each other. 4 cars are write-offs and 15 others get a buffeting. The leading 10 cars missed the incident completely, so those front grid positions do pay off. And Pete Gagan has a 200-yard lead over the Falcons of David Mackay, Bruce McPhee and Fred Gibson. Then come the Holdens of Digby Cook, Colin Bond and Des West. Meanwhile, the crash scene gradually clears, but first sign of it for the spectators at Forest Elbow is Lynn Keefe's limping Fiat as it pulls in for some strong arm assistance from officials. But the 5 left littering the track are beyond help, and they set the mountain crash crews a weighty clearance problem. But back to the race. First time down Conrod, Gagan is timed over the flying 8th at just under 120 miles per hour. But the Holdens are, if anything, a little quicker. The only change sees Cook and Bond 1 position nearer to the lead. Now they're 3rd and 4th respectively. Bill Brown's Falcon is one of the worst victims. Paul Mander's Mini will be off the track for some time. Alan Cant's Capri is another with low mileage, going cheap. This year, roll bars were permitted again, and there's little doubt they saved serious injury here. Mackay takes Forest Elbow very carefully. Already he's having trouble with his rear brakes, and those Holdens on his tail are not helping. A pit stop to find the trouble costs Mackay his place with the leaders. To qualify for pole position on the starting grid, the Gagans yesterday set a new lap record of 2:48.9. Already this morning they've been near to this, but still there are Holdens close behind. Mackay's brake troubles bring the Holdens of Cook, Bond and West to 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Then come Gibson and McPhee. But apart from Gagan's Falcon, the Holdens are having no difficulty matching the Fords and with no sign of trouble. The same cannot be said for others. Another close shave for the Mander Edwards Mini. Chris Cronin's Corolla, a near miss. A very slippery 1500, going east-west as well as north-south. Bob Beasley's Falcon also finds S is for slippery. Down in the pits, too, the Falcons are faltering. Mario Rentz is having back brake trouble, probably also the result of that first lap bingle. But Pete Gagan is still well in front, determined that this is his year. Next, and in the same lap, is Digby Cook's GTS, number 51, and that of Colin Bond, 44. Then the Gibson Seaton GTHO. First sign of the tyre troubles to come is when Harry Gapps limps in with a flat offside front. The back wheel on the same side has a bad wobble. The stop costs 5 minutes plus 2 wheels and tires. He won't get a trade on that one either. An ambulance heading up Mountain Straight is first sign of another mishap. It's Bruce Clark's Datsun, and despite its condition, Bruce is okay. Another doubtful trade-in. The Imp is the smallest car in the race. Perhaps that wheel lift on cornering saves tires. A quick pit for Hank Walters. His front guard is touching the wheel, so the panel beaters take over. Time, too, to take on 12 gallons of the best petrol. After 2.5 hours, Leo Gagan is to take over from Brother Pete, but he's late, and our camera on Forest Elbow shows why. His rear tire is wrecked from a blowout in the cutting. The pit crew stand by with tires, unaware of the trouble. Pete had time to stop 1 lap too late, but despite the flat, his lap time loss is only 30 seconds. This is where every second counts. A minute lost will take an hour to make up. Leo takes over as his crew, with a little help from Big Brother, change both offside wheels.
Hand me a tire. You got a tire. You got a chamois?
Out again after 4 minutes, but now Digby Cook is leader. He's lapping regularly around 2:55, and so far his fastest over the flying eighth is just under 129 miles per hour. Is leading Class E, but Christine Cole's chances are ditched at Hardy Barodo corner. Again, no injury except to the car. Digby Cook is still going like a winner. Dennis Cruben in trouble at Forest Elbow. It's the only day of the year you can park there, Dennis. Definitely time for a Rothmans. Then a scheduled pit stop for Digby Cook that brings another change of positions. Now the Bond Roberts Holden takes over, and though their lead is only a narrow one, it's considerably improved when Fred Gibson brings in his car, which is now second. This is the car Firth fears most. He won a 500 with Gibson as co-driver and makes no secret of his respect for Seaton's sedan steering. They fit 2 new tires and take on 12 gallons of fuel. But things are not as planned in the Ford camp. Gagan is pushing hard to make up lost ground, and the cars are being really caned to get back that lead. Pete is an unhappy Subaru. Des West is another of the top Holden men. Seaton has just been timed at 134.73 on Conrad, and definitely is the danger man. It's an enthralling battle that keeps the big crowd's attention hour after hour as the laps and miles race by. There's hardly a vantage point vacant around the big circuit. And there's not much space at Bathurst Airport either. Seems the well-dressed motorman these days also flies a plane. In the McPhillamy Park area, the crowd has really had its money's worth from the very first lap. At this stage, the Holden camp is quietly confident. But Harry Firth's main worry, car 60, with Seaton at the wheel, is now second, and less than half a minute from the leader. And Hank Walters has moved into the same lap as the leaders. Des West and Peter Brock are also well up. Now, despite the rubber on the track, incidents are few, but the Campbell-Murphy VW is nearly the center of one. Certainly not my idea of a perfect spot to watch the race. Colin Bond makes his last pit call. The crews are now breaking records, getting cars back on the track. But here's one they won't. It's the Seaton Falcon, after a blowout caused a capsize up on the mountain. Now, the only Ford contender is last year's winner, Bruce McPhee, in car 46. He sets top speed of 136 miles per hour down Conrad, and from laps 120 to 123, he circulates in 2:53. Still, Firth is quietly confident.
It is very, very difficult, especially when the brakes are low and, you know, the tyres are chatting, rubber all over the track, and people are getting edged and they want to try and catch up, and they drive their cars a little bit harder. And this is where you've got to sort of try and calm people down a little bit. You can never say you've won here until you have done their 130th lap. We are in front, not by that much actually, but we think that McPhee has to make another stop.
And sure enough, McPhee does pit. Only for 5 gallons, but enough to put him too far back to catch the Bond Holden as it heads for the checkered flag. Colin Bond pilots a careful course around the final lap, taking no chances of spoiling the patient efforts of himself and co-driver Tony Roberts at this stage of the event. 6 hours, 32 minutes, 25 seconds their time for the 500 miles, just over 12 minutes better than last year's Holden record for the race. Hardy Ferodo Managing Director George Hibbert makes first presentation to Holden dealers team captain Firth, then to Bond and Roberts. Naturally, there's the traditional champers recognition for not only a great team effort, but also for an outstanding driving performance in a race that gets tougher to win every year. 1969, again the year of the Monaro.